Well, here we go. A major winter storm on the way. Chris is with John and with us. And Chris, it is starting to snow very, very heavily throughout the tri-state area. I think this is going to happen.
Yeah, I think, I was talking to some folks earlier today, and there are scenarios where there's so much hanging in the balance as to whether or not it will or will not snow. I think this kind of is a no doubter. Obviously, certainly now that it's underway, it's a no doubter, but I think it's a no doubter in the sense that a large portion of the area is going to see double-digit snow accumulations out of this. There's only one really tricky spot, and that's mainly along the coastal communities.
Yeah, you know what? I have obviously we have friends in Ocean County, and there's some snow lovers in Ocean County. It's just it's pouring there right now, and I want to get into this. And I know you want to get into this. This is Geek Talk here. We love this meteorology, and what we're going to do is just show you right now as we speak what is happening. And folks, I just picked my daughter up. It's 5:39, 5:40 on a Wednesday evening, and it is snowing very, very heavily. And this storm, I'm going to move these comments out of the way. This storm is starting to get its act together over portions of, let's say, interior the Delmarva Peninsula. So it's just west of, let's say, Salisbury, Maryland. But what I want you to see here, and this radar is from 5 o'clock, because I need to timestamp this because obviously people will watch this later on this evening. You can see at this hour from like 4:45 to 5 o'clock that there is a lot of heavy snow falling in central New Jersey up to the New York City area. We have to follow the rain snow line very carefully. At this hour, the 5 o'clock hour, 5:30 hour, it is just entering southern Monmouth County, and Ocean County has heavy rain. Philadelphia, as Chris just told me before we went on, has about 3 inches of snow on the ground already. So we have several hours of this heavy precipitation to move through. The concern now is how far north does this rain snow line get? That's number one. Number two is there's a dry slot. And these things move very quickly. Chris can attest to this. This stuff flies. So when does this dry slot get here? And the back end snow, does it fill in quickly enough to suppress that dry slot and just get it moisture laden so we get really not a lot of light intensity to the precipitation? And these are questions that still need to be answered. This is called nowcasting. And Chris, I don't know why that's even in there, but what we're saying is, obviously now the models are out the window and we just have to look at this as a, look at the radars, look at the surface observations. I have friends, my friend Tim in Bordentown said it's snowing like you know what down there. So that is south of Trenton. So that rain snow line so far is where it's supposed to be. It hasn't budged north. Can you talk about the computer models and which computer model really suggested, wow, there's going to be a lot of mix going on, even through New York City and the I-78 corridor? We know what model that is.
Yeah, I mean, in this particular scenario, the NAM model was the one that was bringing in that pretty strong, what we call a warm nose of air coming in from off the Atlantic at the low and mid levels, and that would have caused mixing and a changeover. And we're seeing it. The key is how far north does it get in terms of impact on most of the area. But we've seen storms, both John and I, in the past, where it snows heavily and then rains heavily from a point of maybe, let's say, I don't know, Tom's River on south, almost the entirety of the storm, and that rain snow line doesn't really move very far north. Then we've seen other scenarios where it pushes north, maybe through the south shore of Long Island, immediate coast of Monmouth and Ocean County, and then it gets nudged back out to sea. Colder air wraps in behind it. So, yes, a lot of pieces to this storm yet that have to fall into place. But I would say, if you're watching us right now, particularly anywhere from, let's say, 20, 30 miles outside of the city, west and northwest, pretty much you're guaranteed this is an all-snow event. This is a double-digit all-snow event. It's the city, which personally, I think still could easily get to that foot mark. That's on the fence, but it's really the southern-facing coastal areas of Long Island, Nassau, even Brooklyn and Queens, for that matter, and coastal New Jersey, that are the tough part of this forecast. But it's funny, as you put up the models, John, the NAM, quite frankly, that was a model that was talked about almost being pushed out. But in the last few winters, many snowstorms, the NAM has been superior to some of the other models, that they put so much more into. So
Yeah,
there you go.
Chris, I agree 100%. And sometimes, we've been through this. I gotta say, this longevity, 2.5 decades of whatever it is. We've been doing this for quite a long time, and every now and then, the NAM is a model, folks, that Chris just talked about. Will give this output that's like, is that really going to happen? Because the other 5 computer models say, no, it's going to remain cold. Every now and then, that NAM wins out, and it showed sleet falling from I-78 through New York City in about 3 hours. This is why we got gray hair. I mean, and 3
That's
kids,
tough.
and it's tough, but it's a science of meteorology. And I got Carolyn says it's snowing like crazy in Mercer County. These are the things that we need.
Yeah.
True observations. If you can send us your observations, folks, we would love to please, literally open that door and see what's happening, because that is so important for a meteorologist. Chris and I need to know exactly at that town what is happening. We appreciate those comments as they come in.
I think, John, to that point, especially in this type of storm, the most important observation would be the one where people saw it snowing really heavy and suddenly went over to sleet and or rain or a mixture, because then we could really accurately position the rain snow line or the rain sleet snow line. Because sometimes the radar, the echoes and the returns can be a little false in different ways for reflectivity issues. It could be large wet snowflakes that melt by the time they hit the ground and they're coming back, heavy raindrops. It's important we get those observations at the ground.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%, Chris. And here was another, Kathy in Ridgewood, Queens, coming down steady and heavily. Listen, we appreciate these observations, and what I'm going to do, I'm directing as I talk to you, Chris, because you and I are a little excited about this. I'm going to go over to the next map. Whoops, I just got rid of that. Okay, let's do this. Good job.
Tula's excited.
Tula's good. I'm sorry, Chris.
I'm stuck with Tula tonight.
Here's what I want to
Go
show
ahead.
you. The next model is the HRRRR. I don't have any RRs, but it's a great short-term. It takes the atmosphere and really dissects it closely. The atmosphere has models, and everything's in a grid. So this model is a near-term model, and I'm going to show it to you right now. It is showing, look at this. Everything in yellow is heavy rain. This is for 7 o'clock. Now, what happens to this rain snow line? It will snow to beat the band, Chris, as we said, for several hours, 1 to 3 inches an hour. There could be thunder snow, but does this pink line come up? That is the rain snow line. Does that sleet? It's not the rain snow line. It's the frozen line. And this lull. Remember the lull I talked about back over West Virginia? Here it is late evening, about midnight, and then everything fills back in. So in my eyes, and as we talked about before, because we do a synoptic discussion, we're thinking the cold air will remain entrenched, Chris, just in this area. Not too much of a reduction in accumulation, and this is by tomorrow morning. It's out of here. Another facet, Chris, that we talked about, besides...
Yeah, it may actually still be snowing early tomorrow morning.
Absolutely. And another thing we talked about...
It might actually be snowing at a pretty good clip, I think, early tomorrow morning.
Yes. Yeah, probably, 6, 7 o'clock, especially from the city on east. The wind is another issue. The wind. So why don't we take this and take a look at the wind?
That could be a serious problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So here's the forecast for the wind, our next graphic here. Again, short-term model. Here it is this evening. Look at the wind gusts. I need my glasses. 50 miles an hour, 40-mile-an-hour winds with heavy wind-blown snow. There could be isolated power outages. There's a storm, and this is what I want to show you guys. This storm goes just east of Cape May. Watch this. That's the center, if you will, moving off the coast tomorrow morning. And look at the winds toward the coastal areas of New Jersey, Chris, up to 55 to 60 miles an hour. There can be some isolated power outages. There's the low, right there. Amazing as it pulls offshore.
Well, there could easily be power outages with something like this, and especially areas if the snow gets a little wetter and heavier on some branches. But anybody really along the coast, but even quite a few miles inland, I think the potential is there for some power outages. So if you're watching us now, do have that in the back of your head, a contingency if we lose power, to make sure you have the things you need to stay warm, to stay safe, and to get by, because you may be without power for several hours in some locations. That is a genuine, real threat as part of the storm. We talk snow, but yeah, you lose your power, that's a real pain in the you-know-what.
Absolutely. In the butt. Listen up. Here's Pam from Tom's River. It's raining. It's back to rain. So here are these immediate observations. Again, Ocean County, it's not your storm. Chris, explain why. First of all, and we talked about this, the amazing thing about this is the amount of dry air in the atmosphere in northern New Jersey, through the city, through Long Island. The dew points, the measure of the actual moisture in the air relative to the temperature, is in the single digits and teens, while coastal Monmouth County, the dew point is in the 30s to upper 30s to near 40 through Ocean County. What kind of setup does that give us?
Yeah, the main cause for that, number one, is if you're closer to the source of the cold air and the high pressure, the air is drier. Cold air is dry, and that's where those dew points were very, very low. The influence with the wind, if you see the wind trajectories, particularly right now, because of the positioning of the low, it hasn't jumped to the coast yet, it's causing an onshore or an east wind, basically perpendicular to the Jersey coastline.
Correct.
The water temperatures are 51, 53, so eventually that ocean has an influence in a deep enough layer of air to get it above freezing despite the cold air that's moved in, and dislodge it enough in a thick enough layer to create a changeover to rain. But in the areas where that high and that cold air is entrenched and it was dry to start, it eventually gets saturated, and when it starts to precipitate, folks notice, let's say even in the city, it started out in the low 30s. Then it started to snow, it dropped to the mid to upper 20s. Something called evaporational cooling takes place, because as the precipitation falls and some of it evaporates in that dry air, the process of evaporation takes heat out of the air, so the temperature actually drops, which helps support the snow in a much deeper layer. That's getting dislodged along the Jersey coastline because of the wind coming in with the water.
What an explanation, man!
All right, I'm done.
Professor Cimino.
Mic drop. I'm out of here.
Hey, where's your? What do you have over there? You have a beverage?
I have a beverage. I'm
Cheers.
a little jealous of you. Yeah, I wanted to do a martini, but I was way too lazy, so I'm just doing.
It's my first one, and believe me, the forecast is going to be fine. Okay, listen, Gus Ballos. We all know Gus. Here we go, Chris. Hey guys,
Gussie, cousin.
Great job with the four. Gus was our weather producer for Chris and I at NBC. Just a great guy.
Many years.
A great meteorologist, and he teaches over in Woodbridge Township. And I can't imagine what the students think of you, Gus. Just an incredible guy. I
Also
meant that
a good
with
soccer player and soccer coach.
And a good, yes. Now, how do I get that off? Oh, here we go. Okay. So, Chris, everybody wants to know how much snow is going to fall. You ready?
The key. They want to know what they have to shovel.
Here we go.
Besides us, and we're delving out.
All right. Here we go. Here's what we can expect. This is the final call. Whoops. I did this yesterday. I am so sorry. Here's what we can expect.
Oh, practice.
And it's not even, it's not, believe
me. You're
just
rookie. You're just starting out.
I'm so green. Okay.
You're still wet behind the ears.
Yes. Here's what we can expect, guys. Evening heavy snow, 1 to 2 inches, possibly 3 inches an hour. I want to get off this call because I want to go outside and just see how heavy it's snowing. I'm just joking. Ocean County rain, parts of Monmouth County, and I'm going to talk about just how much of a bust potential there is in a second. Some rain there. So mixing over coastal sections of New Jersey, possibly some sleet over Long Island. Again, this is a 30% chance. I'm very concerned about the strong winds with gusts to 55 miles an hour, drifting and isolated power outages. It will blow very, very hard later this evening through the wee hours of the morning. There will be a lull in the precipitation for a couple hours. Where that sets up, Chris and I don't know just yet, but it's going to be there. Remember that lull with that storm hugging the coast. And then back-end snow will develop or move through after about 2 a.m. And then tomorrow morning, the snow will taper off from west to northeast during the sunrise hour, give or take a couple of hours. So, Chris, all in all, I'm going to show you guys the snow amounts, and this is it. You ready? I know you are.
I'm ready.
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready. Here we go.
That's crazy.
A general 9 to 14 inches of snow in the area of purple. which is about, I don't know, 15 million people, as the other channel on cable. Remember that other channel on cable that always says 75 million people will be affected?
Yeah.
We don't do that here. So here, a general 9 to 14 inches of snow, and somebody asked me about my thumb. I jammed it in the door at my car.
Yes.
Oh, disgusting, isn't it? I know it's gonna fall off.
I did that. I did that on the trunk of my car many years ago. Same look.
The nail's gonna come off. I got to talk about this though. So here's the deal.
Okay.
There's going to be 2 swaths of the heaviest precipitation, the models have agreed, north and west of New York City and along the coast. In the middle, just slightly less by maybe 0.2 of an inch. This is why we're going for the 9 to 14 inches of snow in this area of purple. North and west of New York City, I mean, somebody's going to get 20 inches, Chris, as you said, back over the Poconos, even northwestern New Jersey and through the Mid-Hudson Valley. Here's the bust potential. Look at how close the band of 9 to 14 is to nothing. What is that, 20 miles? 20 miles as the crow flies? If the warm air wins out... Go ahead. No, talk to me.
If you're in Monmouth County in particular, that's one of those counties that really the northwest corner of Monmouth County could get 10 plus, while the southeast corner of Monmouth County could end with maybe slush or little on the tail end of it, maybe an inch or 2 of slush, and that's it. So that's how fine the line is. You're right. That's the tough part of the forecast.
And you know what? And when I go to the schools and talk about the most challenging part of my job, and I'm being honest, and Chris, I think you can agree to this. It's not being on TV. It's not. It's this. This is the most challenge. Honest to God, this is the most challenging part. How much snow is 25 million viewers going to receive? And this is what we have right now. I mean, right? Tula.
Somebody's knocking at my door. So she's being a good guard dog.
Somebody's ringing the bell. Do me a favor. Open the door.
Somebody ordered something. Never mind, and you know that story. But where we're going with this? No, but there hasn't, to be perfectly honest, in the best forecasted storms we've ever had, there's always somebody out there who's going to complain. You said we'd have 18 inches here and we have 22. And you know, I was on WFAN earlier today talking to Moose on the Moose and Maggie show, and we were talking about, you know, he said, well, how do you feel when you make, you know, these errors? Is there pressure? Do you feel bad that you've disappointed people, or do you anger people? And I said, and John, you can jump in on this one. If we said there's going to be an inch, it's an all rainstorm, let's say, it's July, and we said we're going to get an inch to 1.5 inches of rain, and we end up getting a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Do you think anybody really noticed?
Nobody cares.
They'll go, oh, I don't know, no. Rain. They were right. They were right. There were big puddles. They were right. But that's the difference between 5 inches of snow and 1.5 feet.
If you're off 2 inches, then you hear it.
Right. But that's only 0.2 of an inch of water, which is not that bad of an error in any rain forecast. Nobody
notices the difference between a 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch of rain. They notice the difference between 6 and 9 inches of snow. So we have all of our friends. We have all of our friends that bust our chops. Now I lost that window for comments because gosh knows.
Plus, you don't shovel rain, as they say. But you know,
correct.
That's probably why people get more upset about it. I'm putting my glasses on so I can read something you might pull up here at the bottom of the screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
You want to read it for me, Tula? You're okay? What do you think? Tula's thinking. I forgot how crazy puppies are. Oh man. They're worse than
all right,
teenagers.
let's see what we got. Here's Ray.
Okay.
Any chance of this being more blustery? That's a word I have not used on television.
I think he means more of a powdery or fluffy.
Powdery, yes. Yeah, Ray actually is a great guy. He cuts my cold cuts at Wegmans. There you go. I remember. Ray, listen. No, being honest. Right. Hey. Is it? You know what? It all depends where you live, Chris. That's a great question, though, Ray. Is it going to be wet or is it going to be dry? Sussex County.
And we talked about right. But we talked about why before. Well, we talked about the dew points. When the dew points are lower and the air is drier and the snow is being created in that environment, there's more air within the crystals, and it's fluffier and it's more powdery and it piles up more. But if you compress it, it's all kind of, or melt it, it's all the same in the end. But yeah, the powdery snow is to the north where it's colder.
Absolutely. Here's Sandy Menconi. I actually went to school with this lovely woman way back when to high school, and she says it's snowing, and this was 13 minutes ago.
New Egypt.
Now, Chris, if this rain snow line does not move, or not the rain, let's call it the snow mix line, does not budge farther north, these numbers that we talked about, and I'm going to try to do this right now. Let's see here. Hold on one second. I have to reload. These numbers that we talked about will pan out. Now, New Egypt is in Ocean County, the northern, I think the northern part, Sandy, if I'm correct. So I have them in the 1 to 4 just because of that. They're so close to that rain snow line. Such a bust potential here, and we're letting you know
I was going to say, right. I was going to say, I think Monmouth County into Northwest Ocean County in particular, maybe even southern Middlesex, that's bust central right there. That's just waiting for the forecast to bust in one way or another. But I don't think, some people, anytime it snows, and there have been cases where, and again, I think you and I have emphasized this, that we try to be the non-hype, where sometimes, even if there's a slight chance, the elements in the media will try to hype a snow event. This one, we know, it's happening, but we knew it was a pretty sound thing that it was going to snow pretty heavily over a large part of the area. But this one particular part of New Jersey and towards the Jersey coast, that's the area that falls in that cuspiness, and that it can fluctuate either way. And we have to just watch it really over the next few hours.
I agree, Chris. Here's John Cunningham. I had his town. Where's he from? Hey, when you guys give me comments, can you post your location? Actually, thunder snow. So we looked at the upper level jet. There's a slight chance of thunder snow in the next several hours. Yes. So if you see a flash of lightning or hear something, there's a slight chance. It's quite rare. Does it get us excited like Jim Cantori does? YouTube it from the Weather Channel. Heck yeah. Thunder snow is exciting. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, the first time I ever experienced that was it was in a storm in 1978, and I kind of did a double take. I'm like, wait, what? Huh? What? I don't think this is a classic scenario.
No,
we don't have the huge pressure drops and that kind of thing. But
right.
It's possible when you start to get 3-inch an hour type of snowfall rates.
Chris, you talk about 1978. That's what got me into meteorology. A good friend of mine, Roger Miller. Yes, a good friend of mine, Roger Miller, who's an IT wizard and helps me tremendously. Yeah. Knows that year and that blizzard for many different reasons. This is not going to be a blizzard situation, although, that's that you brought it up, blizzard-like conditions can occur because I'm really concerned about those winds in the next 6 to 7, 8 hours with heavy blowing snow. I'm glad that they did not issue a blizzard warning. To me, that gets a little overused. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, again, when it starts to come to terminology and semantics, it's one of the things I've always wrestled with, because I think for different people it triggers a different image in their head. Same way the term nor'easter. I think there are people who believe a nor'easter means nothing but a snowstorm with a lot of wind and heavy snow, when a nor'easter can occur in September or October. It's just a storm that creates northeast gale that moves up the east coast. So colloquial terms, that's one thing. Blizzard was supposed to be an official term that there had to be criteria: quarter-mile visibility or less for X amount of hours, a certain temperature for X amount of hours, certain rate of snowfall for X amount of hours. So to your point, yes, blizzard-like conditions will exist with this storm in parts of the area for a while tonight. I don't freak out if somebody wants to say, "Oh, it's a blizzard." I don't know. To me, that's it's a bad storm.
You know what? If I'm the guy, I go by the rules with some things. A blizzard, you need 3 consecutive hours of heavy or blowing snow, winds in excess of 35 miles an hour in gusts, and a quarter mile or less visibility. Will somebody see that tonight? Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But again, and that blizzard criteria changed way back But when I first started in meteorology, it was different, and it was tougher to have a blizzard warning. So the first time I saw the National Weather Service issue one of those was, more recently, and then I looked at the criteria and realized they had changed the criteria some. They used to be something called, I don't know if you were around for traveler advisory.
Travelers
advisory.
Yes, yes.
Which to me is not a bad term because it's broad enough. It doesn't get down to specific but it means if you're traveling, be advised that the weather could challenge you if you're traveling. It could be a problem.
I totally remember it, Chris.
I don't see an issue with that.
I'm just a few years you're younger here. Yes, and you know what? They switched the traveler's advisory to a snow advisory. I remember
Right.
that switch, and I'm like, why did they do that? Because that makes sense. Here's a comment. Richard, will you be going live through the night? Absolutely not.
Oh, nonstop. No, we used to do that when we really got when we got paid to do it. We really used
we got paid. Yes, and somebody, you know what's funny, Chris? Somebody messaged me. This, I don't even know who it was, and I love all you guys out there in Facebook land. Where's the update? Just that's all I got. Where's the update?
Where's the update?
I don't know. We're
But
just sitting around.
what we didn't get to. What we didn't get to do in those 12-hour coverages was a little, in between. We could say a little cheers and enjoy
Cheers.
the holiday. But
Happy Merry Christmas, big guy. Cheers. To you.
somebody did say, and I said I wasn't going to bring this up to you and your family. Somebody posted something. I was on my Instagram account and said, to me, you left, let it go. You're not that relevant. And a person right after that said, well, then why are you following him and watching? It's just like, or why are people like? What's the point of that? I'm not trying to be relevant or irrelevant. I'm a meteorologist, and I always will be. You and I are friends. We've got a storm. I don't know. It's fun to just talk about.
Chris,
it,
you're
try
not
to predict it
relevant.
and-
You're
and
not
nail it
relevant,
and be
Chris. You're
honest
not
with people
relevant,
and
Chris.
help
You're not
people.
relevant.
Apparently,
Chris,
I'm
you're
going.
not relevant. Ah, I'm melting.
The irrelevant one. Oh man. But
It's called green.
so
It's
be
called
it.
green
But it's
screen
funny.
technology.
It just
listen.
that was very nice the way you did that.
Chris, thank you.
But why don't we do this?
Yes.
Let's wrap up and give the.
You want to
can
read?
you
Well,
get-
hold
can you
on,
get
hold
to
on.
the accumulation math again, so we can.
Yes. Hold on. You guys need to drink more. I think you got something going here. Wait a minute. Wait, did I just lose my thing here? Gregory,
don't lose
you
your
got-
thing. You're too young for that.
No, hold on. You guys need
to.
It's only one cocktail. And my son's
They
down here
want
like.
they want the drunken weathercast. That's what
No,
they
it's
want.
it's all good. It's all good. I do need another martini.
No,
My sister-in-law.
I'm very
Look at this one,
responsible for
Chris.
my-
You remember
my
my
baby.
sister-in-law from my wedding,
Huh?
right?
Yeah.
My sister-in-law, my brother's
Yes.
wife. She says I can't. Why can't you get me another cocktail, sis?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's
Why
recap
not?
this. Well, I got
Everybody
you.
has a job.
You guys need to drink more. I think you got something going here. Okay, stop. Stop with the drinking. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Drink more wine and make more forecasts. Yes. Traveler's advisory. Oh, here we go. Nice job, Scott.
Somebody responded.
Traveler's advisory became a winter weather advisory. I stand
Weather
corrected.
advisory.
I thought it was a
Ah.
snow advisory.
Very good.
Good job, Scott.
Yeah.
Remember to post your town, guys. Hold on, Chris. Let's go through a little more.
That was well done. Well played, Scott. He wins the I don't know, what does he win? The golden shovel.
Heavy snow and very windy in Scotch Plains. Patricia, thank you for your location.
Yeah, I think
Richard,
with-
Chris,
I mean,
ready?
we're
Chris,
taking-
Chris, ready?
we're-
Chris, can you read this one to me, please?
You're making me put my glasses on.
I am making you put your glasses on.
I wore my PJs inside out last night.
There you go. Enjoy.
Okay. If
I
does
just
that
thought that
help
we-
snowstorms? Is
Okay.
that sort of a?
Hold on. I don't know. I just thought,
That's pretty fun.
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on.
Did you wear PJs inside out last night?
I don't have the Jim Cantore moment right now. Somebody, heavy snow in Westfield, Hazlitt, New Jersey. You are on the 9 to 14 inches. Will you be going live through the night? We said no to that.
Oh, no.
Oh, here. This is good to know.
I think
Lynn,
for the most part,
Lynn,
though, from
snowing in
this
Jackson.
point around, we're a little after 6. I think from this point forward, probably until about 10 o'clock or so, we're really going to see some pretty heavy snow bands move from
Yeah.
south
You know what?
across the area.
This
Maybe
is good.
not till 11, and then, like you said, there might be that little lull after midnight for a bit.
Right, Chris, this is getting exciting. And also, Lynn in Jackson, New Jersey. When I was a kid, it was called Great Adventure. Now it's called Six Flags. I know it's the same company or whatever the heck it is, but it's snowing pretty good there. I went to a school, Aldrich Road. I think there's an Aldrich Elementary down there. So let's see who else we have here. Long Valley, New Jersey, snowing heavily in Three Bridges. John Hennings, thank you. Oh, here we go. My cousin Mary. That's what she's saying. Carissa, I have a
My cousin
picture
Mary, it
of
sounds like a
me.
movie. I know.
I have a picture of me and you and Chris. Now hold on, Mr. Cimino. My cousin has a picture of you, because you were at my wedding. You remember that. Don't
Right.
ask if I listen.
Never mind. I could tell those stories some other time.
You know what? It was a great night. It was a great.
It was a
night.
great party. It
It-
really
it
was.
was a gr-
it
it was a
great wedding
party.
and a great party.
Thank you. My sister-in-law had my,
And
my
it stuck.
cousin
And it
Mary.
stuck.
Yes, my cousin Mary is saying, my sister-in-law, Mr. Cimino, and my cousin have a picture of the three of you at my wedding. Of course, you don't remember,
Wow,
but
the wedding.
that's great. Yeah. How many years ago was that? 50? It's a joke.
Well,
All right,
maybe
let's
it
go
feels that
through
way
the-
to you. Hey.
Hey, let's go through this real quick. Let me go through this accumulation
So real
rounds.
quick, I want to wait. I found a couple of people here. Tom O'Hanlon. You remember Tom O'Hanlon?
Of course I remember
The
Tom.
NBC days, he's over at-
He
he's
used
at
to book
CBS
my
now, right?
live shots for NBC.
Tom, one of the sweetest men in television. That's why he's now on radio, because he was a sweet man. No, but I love Tom. He's reporting only about a half inch so far in Scarsdale. Scott Blank also used to work. He was audio in WNBC. He's out in LA now. He is watching from the West Coast. And Carmine Bonanno, who is a loyalist to both of us, it says it's blowing like crazy on the Lower East Side. FDR is covered in both
Wow.
directions. The FDR. Now, I will tell you real quick, John, when I was driving my girlfriend back to 30 Rock before first flakes were falling, the roads were covered in salt. I mean,
Yes.
it looked like snow had fallen. That's how much salt. And now, with this rate of snowfall, it's already been overcome. If the FDR is covered in snow in both
Absolutely.
directions. So that's
And
an
here's another
indication how heavy it's falling.
I think that's a great, and I remember Scott. Here's a report 1 minute ago from Scott Donigian, Chris. 6 miles east of Jackson.
Oh.
He's in Point. Okay, he's in Point. He's in Point Pleasant. It's pouring. Amazing. So
Yeah.
before we wrap up, let's just review what we're going to get, what our predictions are for the tri-state area with snow amounts. And I'm going to come over here because my app has died on me.
Again,
Okay,
we're
so
boring you now. It's over. I
we're not.
got the big yawn.
Who, the dog yawned?
She gave me the big yawn. It's like,
At least
just
it's a
done yet?
dog.
I'm getting
Okay, here we
hungry.
go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We got to wrap this up. So this is the last call on what's going to fall and the potential there. We're definitely thinking 14 to 20 inches of snow from northeastern Pennsylvania, northwestern New Jersey, through the Mid-Hudson Valley. A general 9 to 14. I mean, this is a lot of the area, 9 to 14 inches of snow. The bust potential, look at how close between 9 and 14 you are to 0. Here's Point Pleasant, the thumb. Here's Hazlitt. That's 20 miles, 30 miles as a crow flies. So wiggle that a little bit. Chris, totally agree in that, right? That's a crazy,
Yeah, I mean,
crazy
that's-
fine line.
Yep, I think Monmouth County is the bust location, and maybe northwestern
Northern
Ocean
Ocean
County.
and
It could
Mercer?
be tricky.
It could.
Yeah.
Listen, I had a great time.
Further inland, I think Mercer and further inland, Somerset, you're fine. You know, you're all snow.
Yeah.
Maybe
Listen,
it'll sleep.
remember,
Maybe that.
heavy,
Are you
heavy
getting Nancy
whiteout,
here?
a whiteout, oh, you're a little Tula. Heavy whiteout conditions the next several hours,
Heavy-
especially
I'm sorry.
north of the area where it's raining. 1 to 2 inches an hour. There could be thunder snow, a bit of a lull. Rain south, very strong winds. Prepare for isolated power outages. In all seriousness, folks, this storm is not intense, but the pressure
yeah.
gradient between the high and the low is so intense that's what's going to
Right.
cause our incredible wind. So we have to be
And
prepared.
to that,
just-
also, we kind of always leave out the other element. By the way, you know,
Coastal
the immediate
flooding.
coast. There's moderate coastal flooding
Yes.
affected out of this. So
Yes.
you live in those areas prone, particularly along the Jersey coastline, east end of Long Island, even into Long Island Sound, when it really starts to narrow in the the western corner of Long Island Sound.
Right.
Be aware there could be some moderate coastal flooding at times of high tide overnight tonight, the first high tide cycle tomorrow morning probably.
Okay, here's a great observation. Shelly Kaplan. I'm in Farmingdale in Monmouth County. I know Farmingdale very well. Alair State Airport is close to you. Lots of snow and still snowing. That's a great observation. Chris, this was great. Hopefully the forecast pans out. We're not in control of it. We're not wizards. Tell my wife that. Great doing this with you. And I hope our Facebook peeps and fans, or whatever you want to call them, got a little bit out of this. We will connect soon, and enjoy the evening. Take a break.
I hope it was good information, and I might be checking in from time to time on Facebook. I'm sure you might as well, and we'll see. If I get really adventurous, I'll go to my rooftop in the peak of the storm and just make for some really just fun video. We'll see.
Yes.
If Tula lets me.
By the way, your Tula is just a very pretty dog. Just got to give you that.
Yeah, she's a beautiful girl, but man, is she crazy. Anyway, on that note, thanks again for inviting me. Everybody, stay safe, stay put, enjoy the snow, have fun with it, and as we head into the
stay
weekend,
safe.
Then you can start to shovel on out, I guess, towards the end of the week. All right.
Yep. And we'll see you guys soon.
My best to the fam. Be good.
Bye bye. You too, Chris. Take care.
Take care.